What's up YouTube, Cap over here, and welcome to Cap 101, the battle portion of the series in which we take a team that we built and put it through a battle. And if you haven't checked out the team building video, I strongly recommend that you do, as it has information on how this team was constructed and how each Pokemon was built. So that includes their EVs, their abilities, their attacks, their items, and all of that fun stuff. So I strongly recommend that you check it out. And I did make one switch on one of the Pokemon, and that's the Kingler. He has X Scissors now instead of Body Slam. Just more coverage, makes more sense to me. Yeah, we're good. So I have a battle with Marcus, and he brings in quite the bulky team, as we see on the screen. And I'm scared, I'm so scared. He has 5 decent walls on his team, and I figured he'd lead off with a Steelix, so naturally, Steelix doesn't like getting burnt. It's a bit hot, and Steelix will not enjoy the heat. So I send out Torkoal. Good old Mr. T is gonna make his appearance, as Steal Me will also make his appearance, and my first turn prediction is correct. So I'm not gonna make any predictions, and I'm just gonna go for the safe Lava Plume. I don't want to get my Stealth Rocks up yet, as I do know at some point I couldn't get my Stealth Rocks up on this Dusclops. So Dusclops just eats that right up. Man, Dusclops, why are you so bulky? I want to scout what sort of Dusclops this is, as Dusclops are bulky Pokemon, but they have different ways of bulking you out, and I want to see what it was. So he has the Confused Ray, the Will-O-Wisp, and so far it's not looking as bad as I thought it would, as I get the burn and get that residual damage going. So that's going for me. I'm feeling pretty happy at this point, but I'm against a Dusclops and I'm not making any progress whatsoever. And I'm wondering if this thing has Pain Split. So over here it reveals that it does, and I'm like, well, this battle is not going to get anywhere quick if we keep on doing this, if I keep protecting and if he keeps Pain Splitting. So I got to set up my Stealth Rocks. Free damage is always a good thing. I never pass up on that. If you can get your rocks up nicely, nice and safe, might as well set him up, right? So once again, he's going to get some more burn damage. And I figured I'd heal up a bit, get myself at a decent amount of HP once again, as he's just going to go for another Confused Ray. And we could play this game for quite some time, and I decided ultimately it was going nowhere for me. And him having the pressure, I'll probably run out of Protects. So I decided to switch into Dine and Dash, which has the Shadow Ball, is Choice Spec, and is a very scary mon to deal with. So if he reveals his 4th and final move, which is Nightshade, I'm totally fine with that because he doesn't have the Toxic, and yeah, I'm okay with that. So I don't take it down. He lives with the Shadow Ball, but he gets to a point where if he takes another Shadow Ball, the burn and the Shadow Ball will take him down. So either he has to sack off this thing, or something else has to take some damage from the Jolteon. So right now, he's putting in the work. He's putting in some decent work, as Drapion will make his appearance, and Drapion will not take this hit well. Plus, he gets a special defense drop, so I'm like, alright. Drapion's at already low health, and he doesn't have a lot of attackers on his team, so I knew I have to take this thing out as soon as possible and not let it become a threat in any way. So I decided to go for another Shadow Ball. It does a decent amount, but he's going to take me out to the crunch. And Jolteon did his job quite well, as Koki will make his appearance. And I decided to go for a knockoff, because if he wanted to switch out, he was going to take something was going to lose his item, something's going to lose his precious. So I see this thing was Choice Band, so thank God I didn't switch out into anything, as that would have hurt quite a bit. So knocking off his Choice Banded Pokemon is so clutch. And over here, I completely forgot this thing gets Giga Drain, and luckily for me, he makes an over prediction and goes for a Toxic instead. And at this point, we're turn 12 into the battle, and one of my Pokemon's already poisoned, so I'm not feeling too happy about that. But I did knock off the leftovers on this thing, so that's alright, that's not too bad. As over here, he reveals that he has the Giga Drain, and Meloetta eats that right up. Meloetta's such a bulky Pokemon with natural bulk, and I'm happy with that. I'm like, alright, Kudil, you can get on out of here. You can get your annoying self out of here. As Dusclops once again will come on out, but he doesn't have a lot of HP, so he'll apply some pressure, and I'm like, oh, I'm scared. But Meloetta's used to dealing with pressure, as She often sings in front of crowds, so no pressure, no pressure, Meloetta. You take out the Sclops and you show who's the king of the court. King of the stage. The queen of the stage, I'm sorry. Queen of the stage. As I figured I have to withdraw, I need to keep my Meloetta at a decent amount of health, as Chief Wiggums will make his or her appearance. Chief Wiggums is a girl for some reason. As Rocks will be on my side of the field, now we both have Rocks, and it's a dangerous field to come into, so we can't really switch out as often as we would really want to. And another Pokemon gets toxic, so I'm seeing his general plan, and it's really frightening me because my Pokemon don't want to get toxic, Stealth Rock, stalled on out of here, because he has the Steelix still, and that Steelix is really scary. I was hoping the Shadow Ball would do more damage than I thought it did, but it doesn't do a lot, and I'm not comfortable in this position, so I have to switch on out of here. I'm like, Chief Wiggums, you failed me. You failed me big time here. I'm going to send out my Hufflepuff, and he's going to make a mockery out of you. You'll see what he does. You'll see what he does. And Hufflepuff will come on and into the battle, and this is sort of like my Spritzy set, but in my opinion, he does his job really good, as he's going to go for an Earthquake, and Hufflepuff eats that right up. He's like, I enjoy those Earthquakes, as he's going to go for a Cotton Ball and become even more fluffy. That's right, a Hufflepuff with +3 defense is nothing to be taken lightly, as he goes for the Gyro Ball, and that does absolutely nothing. I think it's because Hufflepuff is so fluffy that when he gets punched, it's just like you're punching a cloud of softness. And I found this would be the prime time to set up my Wish, and I could get some recovery on one of my Pokemon that really needs it, which would be my Suna, because Asuna is putting in the work right now. So I decided to switch out, and I know that when Asuna comes on in, he's forced to switch out, so I can get a Heal Bell happening, and this is where a lot of my team is just, their synergy is working out so well, because Asuna was putting in the work, she was taking a lot of damage, but Hufflepuff will give her the Wish, give her like, he's like, yo man, yo girl, you've been singing really good today, I'm gonna give you a Wish, your HP can come on up, I'm the biggest fan, been a fan a long time, so he's forced to withdraw because Weezing doesn't want to take a Psychic, as I can just go for a Heal Bell and heal all of my Pokemon right on up, and I'm feeling pretty good because 3 of my Pokemon were poisoned and now none of them are, so Asuna's doing her job of keeping my team relatively healthy, and Hufflepuff did pass on that Wish onto Asuna, so they're really teaming up quite well, surprisingly well, really good. As Chief Wiggums will take another poison, and I'm like, darn it, Chief Wiggums, stop getting poisoned. Try to focus on your job here. But you know, Chief Wiggums, she ain't keeping fond of whatever is happening in this battle. So the Steelix comes in once again, as I'm just gonna go for a Shadow Ball, and it does absolutely nothing. I'm like, Chief Wiggums, come on, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? You're not doing much. As I decide to go for another Shadow Ball, I decide I need to get as much damage on this Steelix, Mega Steelix that is, as I could, just because I need one of my Pokemon to come in and just simply take it out with one more hit. And unfortunately, he goes for the Earthquake. I live it, but die to poison, as Torkoal will make another appearance, and I'm like, alright Torkoal, this is your time to shine. You can take a hit from this big fella right here. He's big, but darn it, you can take it. You can take it. So I decide to go for Protect. I want to get more lefties to ensure that I do live the hit. As he's going to go for an Earthquake, I'm going for a Lava Plume, and it does a decent amount of damage because I am max defense, but fortunately for me, I do live it, and Torkoal gets the Lava Plume off. And over here, I was hoping I would get a burn so I could send out my Swirlix, but doesn't come through. As I go for one more Protect, hoping that I could live it and possibly get a Rapid Spin off to get rid of the rocks, but the chances weren't in my favor, not at all. And I was hoping I could, but I don't. And Mr. T's gonna go down. Sorry, Mr. T, you're not gonna pity any more fools. No more fools you're gonna pity. As I'm just gonna send out Koki, and Koki has crab hammers, so I can just simply knock this thing out with the crab hammer. And thankfully he didn't switch into his Kraydilly because Kraydilly has water absorb. Most likely he did have water absorb. And once again, Flintstone will make another appearance. And this thing's becoming the bane of my existence, and I decide ultimately I had to poison this thing in order to take it down. So I'm like, Hufflepuff, you knew what to do. You've come clutch to me. This is your very first battle, not butter. Battle, but you come clutch. And this is the move that I wanted, because if he went for a Giga Drain, he might have 2-hit KO'd me, or just take me down. As we see over here, it was a 2-hit KO if he just simply went for Giga Drain instead of Toxic. And I can Toxic this thing, and simply, now it's not as threatening as I thought it would be, getting that residual damage off. So, Hufflepuff, you're putting in the work. I'm so proud of you. You're just so fluffy, but you're going to go down to poison, and I don't have Hufflepuff on my team anymore, and the Steelix is still, well, Steelix is gone, thankfully. But I figured I'd send out Asuna once more, and this whole time I thought Kraydilly was a water Pokemon, so that's why I keep going for the Thunderbolts. And the whole time I didn't realize it, which is really bad on my part. I should have known at the start. As I go for a Hyper Voice here, hoping that I could take down the Claydol, and it lives by 1. At this point, I was getting really salty because I'm like, but he misses the Toxic, and Asuna's going to stay healthy. And that Toxic miss was so clutch because that residual damage on Asuna is not good for her. She's got delicate skin, and Toxic does not bow well with her. So once again, Flintstone will come on out, and over here I'll learn that it wasn't a water Pokemon, and I was going for the wrong move the whole time. I'll take Life Orb damage and Giga Drain damage, and thankfully I do live and don't pay for my mistake, and he will get some poison. And over here I thought I had to go for the Psychic, as it was my strongest move, my strongest stab move, and it does take it down. So Asuna is putting in the finest work. That Wish Pass did, it was so clutch that Hufflepuff passed on that Wish, so Asuna could be somewhat healthy, and Asuna can take out this Wheezing, just because I don't have Psyshock. I put Psychic instead because Chief Wiggums has Psyshock. Yeah, that's right. So I do barely win. Asuna lives on 1. Asuna taking the spotlight away from Koki. So really good battle, Marcus. Really close. Those walls, they're just something else. Anywho, if you guys enjoyed this video, please subscribe, like, comment. This is a brand new series, and I'm really hoping that you guys really show up for it. So thanks for watching, and this is Cap signing out. I've been thinking about this for quite a while, and I'm really excited. So it's gonna be almost like my Spritzee, but a bit more sort of different.
And let's see the Flamethrower. Let me see live that. I'm gonna live that. Just fine.